All right, what's up, everybody? Wow, another good rotational day here in the markets here today on the ES and NQ. Um, Quick disclaimer: this video I'm going to talk about something I've kind of glanced over a lot. It's actually the basis of how I trade. Order flow is a confirmation tool, but we're going to talk about fractal mathematics. I'm not going to get too deep into it because that is private. I do teach this stuff in my room to people who really want to learn it. But there is a free section in the Discord. You can come in, hang out. You'll learn the basics of order flow. You'll see these levels, but I'm not going to teach you. But let me just tell you about my approach to the market. And I guarantee you'll find this a very, 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 very interesting video because I do things different than probably 99% of other traders. And the people, well, don't worry about my kid. He's in the background having so you might hear him go, woo! But that's my kid. And I've been doing this about 6 years, 7 years, guys. I'm a huge, there he is. I'm a huge proponent of mathematics because the market, let me just backtrack. The market moves on math. Okay. Now, majority of you guys talk about the market moves on liquidity. The market, the market moves to liquidity and all that stuff. And that's correct. But the question that most people fail to ask themselves is, why is that liquidity sitting at a certain place? Okay, that's the big one. Why is that liquidity sitting where it is? What does it mean? Okay, so mathematics is the basis of algorithms. Okay, it's how do you program an algorithm, right? You program it with math. Okay, code, math. Right? You don't program it being like, well, if this happens, then maybe this and then that. No, it has to be hard coded, right? Risk has to be hard coded. Areas that they're willing to buy and willing to sell have to be hard coded, and everything has to work seamlessly together, right? So bear with me, but I'm going to show you why. If you don't have access to it, or you'll never see it, you'll never believe it. But once you see it, you're like, oh snap, okay? I tried to get a whiteboard for this meeting, but I can't get them to work online here. So just bear with me while I talk about it, and then we're just going to actually look at the screens, okay? So imagine you got like some yearly levels, a yearly range of levels, right? In a big box, right? And these levels are maybe, you got 10 of them that are calculated. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? Inside that yearly range of levels, they're big range levels. Now, this doesn't matter if you put it on a $3 pump and dump, blue chip stocks, lean hogs, sugar, NQ, ES, gold, oil. It's still the same. I run this stuff on every single auction I trade that I've ever traded, for the most part, until I learned it. After I learned it, I didn't look at anything else. Okay, now imagine those big range of levels. These levels are perfectly spaced apart, but they're useless to you intraday, but they're really useful for weekly planning, daily planning. So they have their own set of levels, right? But as I divide down, these ranges in between the levels get smaller and smaller, and they become more and more useful for, say, 4-hour auctions has its own range of levels, right? A daily range of levels has its own range of levels. It could have 4 different ranges of levels, right? A 4-hour calculation can have a 4-hour range of levels, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller apart until we get to a really nice range of levels that the market will always trade in intraday in that auction. And it's the same on any auction, right? It finds the sweet spot to how it wants to calculate, and then it just stays there, and that's the calculation that is ran that auction. What's the benefit of that? Well, entries and levels, that everything has to be mechanical, right? So a stop has to be mechanical, it has to be programmed, it has to be mathematical, right? Everything has to be boom, boom, boom. So there's no guessing, there's no gray areas, right? Follow me? There's no gray areas with math. It's like this, 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 and this, okay? There's no gray area. Well, maybe I'll just move there. The problem with most traders is they'll take a trade hoping that some random area is going to work, and then their stop's always a little bit different because they're basing it on the chart. Oh, I'll pull it down here this time, and then this one's going to be right here, and then this time it's going to be up here, and it's not consistent, right? when you trade based off mathematics, everything's consistent. The day never changes, right? We do the same thing every single day, right? So once we get to these intraday levels, we've got a range of levels that we're going to trade from during the day, right? And price is always trading in these levels. And you might be like, well, what moves me on the highest level or below the lowest levels? Well, price will automatically calculate lower or automatically calculate higher. It does it like that in the code, right? That's how I trade, right? Well, shift up, shift down. And so price is always trading in these levels, always. What is the benefit of that? Well, every time where the market will buy or sell a level, right, that shows support or resistance, that level has a roadmap, okay? So if X level holds, if a trade location shows at this level, it opens up a rotation, say, down to this level. And that's how we base our trading. So every trade level, okay, one sec, buddy. Every trade, giving me a knife. What's wrong with this kid? Every time we enter a trade, we already have a target level. It's already pre-programmed, pre-calculated. We don't have to do anything. We just have to put our order on the level because XYZ met the requirements to enter that trade. And then our profit target always goes to that level. And then we just leave it alone. So, and there's a specific system to handle trade management and everything. It's very easy. We do the same thing every day. But every time a support level holds on a level, it opens up a level for that level to trade back into, up or down. That makes sense. So all day long, price is trading off these levels, and it's going from here to here, here to here, here, down here, up to here, down here, up to here, and then down here, up to here, and then down here, and then down here. And it may seem like in a chart like today, this is the best chart to show you because price does exactly what we wanted it to do. And it's a tough chart to look at. I bet you a lot of people, you all right? I bet you a lot of people got kind of messed up today. But for us, it actually did everything we wanted it to do, right? And I'll show you. So that is the basis of fractal mathematics. I'm not going to get deep into it theory-wise, or it's not my place to do that. I didn't invent the math. The math is like very, very old. But I studied it, man. I studied it and I studied it and I studied it and I learned it from a really, really, really smart guy who I really respect. And I studied it and I studied it and I studied it more and then I studied it more. And now I know it. I like to think that I'm close to get that master level. I understand it really, 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 really well. And then we use this order flow stuff that I talk about as a confirmation tool to enter. So when a trade location comes to a level, I use the order flow that I talk about. Do I have large bids or large offers, weak prints, weak bids at these levels that can, when I see the trading activity at the levels, that gives me the confirmation to at those levels. And then the target level is always baked into it. Okay. So what you're actually seeing the levels right here, but it's a little bit hard to see with the footprint, and it's a busy chart, right? Because people get confused. They look at the numbers and everything, but actually my real edge is just how I trade the levels. So what I did is I just made a basic candlestick chart just to kind of talk to you, give you a bird's eye view of why my thesis on how the market moves is actually correct, right? And this is all I do every day. I don't look for chart patterns. I don't look at VWAP. I don't care about VWAP. I don't care about any moving averages. I don't care about RSI. I don't care about breakouts. I don't care about breakdowns. I don't care about anything that retail traders use, right? I don't care about any of it. All I care about are the levels that I trade. And it keeps my trading absolutely mechanical because every time I enter the trade, the stop goes in the exact same place and the target is at the exact same place. And we do the same thing every single day, right? So it makes trading really robotic, right? And that's how I was able to build an algo basically around how I trade. But enough of that. I'm not going to get into deep specifics. I do talk about that in the room and stuff like this, but let's just have a look at the charts and I'll kind of show you bird's eye view. So here's the ES and here's the NQ. Get these over. Now it looks confusing, right? But look, oh, hang on a sec here. I gotta change the layout here. Let me NQ here. Let me just see if I can do this right. Bear with me here. E mini S&P. What is this? Number 8. Let me just see if I can Oh, there we go. There's one. Here's the NQ. Let's get the ES going on here. This is chart number 7. See if we can find a number 7 on here. Is that it? Oh, I think it's this one. Oh, yeah. We're in business. Ooh, not bad, Sean. Not bad. All right, so check it out. So here's the ES and here's the NQ, right? Now, these give us trade locations all day long, right? Every one of these levels means something to us, right? It means tons to us. But let's talk about the ES. I'll talk about the ES here first because it's a little bit tighter here than the NQ, right? So I know when we enter a specific area where I'm looking for price to reverse, I know up or down, long or short, both sides. I know when we enter a specific area that I look for chop and rotation, okay? So I switch my expectations of a trade location based off where it is because I understand what that level means, right? What every level means. But specifically, contextually, I can try to trail a trade, or I can just be out for 1 to 2R based off where we're trading. But as you can see on the ES here, you see how we had these beautiful moves into our 74.12, right? So we had this beautiful reaction of 74.12. That's a beautiful long signal, right? And let's look at it here. Sorry, mic stand's kind of blocking it. Here, beautiful long signal right here, comes back down heavy, right? Fills the long, goes up 2R. We're just rotating in here, right? But as you can see, it's respecting these levels here, 32 and 12, absolutely perfectly. These aren't drawn after the fact. They've been here since before the market even opened, right? They've been here all week, right? They've been here all year. It's just waiting for it to calculate. Beautiful little thing. You see this beautiful short. We look above, boom, we get a beautiful short signal here. Here's your fill, goes down 2R, comes back up, get another fill. That's a 4R, immediately reverse to the tick. Like, look at where these levels are going to the tick. Okay. Here, beautiful short signal right here. Comes back up, rejection. Nice 2R, ends up going 4R. Here's a beautiful long signal right here. Comes right back down to our 74.32 where we were previously shorting. Earlier today, we were buying it, right? Blah, 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 blah. Gives another 4-5R. Beautiful short signal right here. It doesn't come back up and fill. But the key thing to notice, and then we come down here again into 74.12, and then you see what happened here after hours. But as you can see, price is moving beautifully off these levels. So all I do all day long with my team is we sit and we just wait for levels to trade, and we have our limits sitting out at the levels once a confirmation of a level has occurred. And sometimes it takes 3 hours to come back. Sometimes it comes back on the very next auction. But these levels are valid all day for when they return, right? And today's a beautiful example to show you why price likes to trade in this, because a lot of people will look at today's chart and say, man, this is an ugly chart. This was tough. But this is like can be a normal day at the office for us, right? Clean two-way auction, trading the levels, waiting for them to trade, getting the order flow and the reaction off the levels, and then we just wait for price to return to levels, and then we trade them, right? And we already have a pre-defined target, right? So all the hard work is done. There's no guessing, right? Stop goes in the same place. The target's always the same. The trail mechanism is always the same. If you want to trail, the expectation, trade location, target is always the same. So there's never any guessing, right? So the key to trading like this is to make your day as easy as possible, right? You want to be have less emotions as possible. So now when it comes down and I take this long here at 12, whether it works or not, I don't care, right? Because it's met the requirements of the level to trade. So then I just have my order sitting out there. Sometimes it'll come back in 2 hours to fill it or whatever. But that level is always valid to re-enter when it's return level. So we're always waiting for price to return to levels once they set up properly, right? Are there some stops in here? Absolutely, but there's copious amounts of wins in here, and it may look really, really confusing, but the key thing to this video that I wanted to point out is just like price moves mathematically, right? It doesn't move based off emotions. It doesn't based off liquidity. Sure, you could say it moves based off liquidity, but the question you got to always ask is why is the liquidity sitting at a certain place? Unless you have an understanding of some baseline mathematical models, you won't see it, right? Let's talk about the NQ. We were buying today. Our key level here was 29,687. It seems random, right? It's not. Absolutely, right? It gets all you guys shorting 700, right? We were buying 7, right? This means something to us. We get beautiful long signal. We'll break down all these trades here. Beautiful long signal. So when it comes back, we're buying 687, right? It goes right to a 4R target. Holds, boom. Comes back again, boom. There's 4R here. There's 8R right here, right? So there's 8R in trades right here. The short signal right off here, boom, it gives us another 4R. So it goes 4, 8, 12R, right? Eventually the setup fails and you take a loss. That's totally fine. Sets up a beautiful long right here off the bottom of our, again, rotation zone, holds, and then look at the move here into the close. What other short setups do we have today? Long setup right here doesn't come back and fill us here at 89. This doesn't come back and fill. This we would not take this because this is chasing the move. We typically look for price to reverse, so we're not looking for longs up in here. This is a beautiful short signal here, and then when it comes back up, you actually take the loss, and that's totally fine, right? Because ebbs and flows, if we're taking all these trades properly, we've already punched out 8 to 12, at least 8 R's and wins off these setups alone. So if you're going to take 1 or 2 or 3 R's and losses, that's a normal day, right? If you just let wants me to make him some pancakes. I'll make you some pancakes. That's just a normal day of rotation for us, right? So we always look for these trades. Okay, I got it, buddy. Thanks, bud. That's just a normal day for us. Okay, so what I wanted to point out on a day like this is just, it's really cool to look at this chart at the end of the day and go, wow, this is how price really moves, right? But if you don't understand it, you'll never see it. Or if it's not in front of your face, you'll never understand it. So when I talk to people and I say, price is fractal, this is what I mean. Fractal is mathematics. Fractal is division and multiplication. That's what fractal is, right? So don't let anybody tell you differently. That's what it is. That's the basis of it. And fractals, division, multiplication, that's math, right? So it all kind of comes together. Hold on, buddy, I got you. So I'm going to keep this video pretty short, but I wanted to kind of showcase these charts here today and really show you guys, because today is a great example. When we have a trending day, it sucks, right? But when we have a day like this where we get this multi-rotational price action, this is like the stuff that we love, right? Because if we don't get the long, we get the short. If we don't get the short, we get the long. And we just stay rotating our trades long and short all day long based off where the trade locations are, and what those trade locations give us a price for a level to move back to, if that makes sense. So anyways, I just wanted to do this video real quick. I didn't want to make it too long. If you want to learn more, you can click the link in the description there. There is a total free side. You get me all day long, basically half hour before the open. You get me live on screen share all through the balance session. Talking order flow. You'll get my levels and my daily watch list. You get my daily watch list, daily watch plan. I'm on text all day long. I'm posting in the room here with the guys all day long, talking about the tape, talking about trade locations, all that stuff. I do that for free, but then on the other side, there is a paid side, which I don't charge very much for guys who really want to learn about this stuff. But I kind of work with them. It's a really, really, really small group with a lot more in depth. But come pop in the free side and watch me work, right? And you'll be surprised what you can pick up. And my motto is anything I can do to make my trading more and more easier, I'm all for it. So once the bell rings, we just don't do anything. We just wait for price to trade these levels and just wait for setups to set up, and boom, okay, boom, let's take that level, look for price to go up to here, and then like all the hard work is done. So we just sit here and click buttons, right? There's no guessing, there's no gray areas. After that, after the open comes, it's just about managing risk, right? And just making sure we're sized correctly that we can just rotate trades all day long. So that's the basis of fractal mathematics. Again, a quick video, a quick overview. I hope I don't drag this video on too long. But if you like what you see, man, come pop in, say what's up. I'm always working, man. I work 24 hours a day, I swear to God. I am always working here for the team and developing new tools and doing some cool stuff. So anyways, join me on the live stream on YouTube if you want, or we'll see you in the room, man, and come and hang out. Thanks for watching. So me and my kids say bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.